When we think about your investments, I like to break them down into different tax buckets. Now, you can get really complicated with taxes, and quite frankly, I don't want to focus on that part of it. I want to focus on the easy part of it, just knowing how your monies are taxed in each different type of account. So first, let's talk about what we call the taxable bucket. Now, the investments that are in this bucket should kick off a 1099 to you at the beginning of the year, stating that there was some interest that was paid to you, or some dividends that kicked off to you, or something that was taxable to you in that tax year. The best example we can use from the bank world is a CD. You have your money in a CD, you're going to get a 1099 that says, okay, you made some interest off that CD and you have to pay taxes on that interest that you made. Another example would be if you had a brokerage account, let's say at Fidelity, that's the custodian we use. I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy some stock in AT&T. Now that AT&T stock is going to pay me a dividend. It doesn't matter if I take that money or if I reinvest it to buy more AT&T stock, I still have to pay tax on that dividend in that year. So those are the types of investments that go into that taxable bucket. You've got money from the bank, you've got investments, the income that comes off of them. Those are the things in the taxable bucket. Now, they might not be uber efficient in tax terms, but they are liquid. You can get access to them quickly, and they're usually money that will get potentially a step up in basis when you pass away for your family. So there's some efficiency there. The next bucket we're going to talk about is the tax deferred bucket. Now, in this bucket, you don't have to pay tax on the earnings and the interest as it grows in the account. The best example I can give you is a retirement account. So think of IRAs, 401ks, 403bs, maybe a profit sharing plan, a simpler SEP IRA, maybe even your pension. This is money that was not taxed at the beginning. It's not taxed along the way, but when you take that money out and stick it in your pocket, it's going to be taxed to you. And it's going to be taxed to you at whatever the tax rates are down the line in the future when you take it out and put it in your pocket. We get some tax benefit from the fact that this compounding interest is working and we're not having to pay tax on that money yet. But you are creating potentially a tax bomb, because at some time in the future, you're going to have to take that money out. And you actually have joined in an agreement with the IRS. You don't really think about it that way, but your partnership with the IRS says at some point in time, I'm going to give you your piece of my pie in the form of taxes. Now, the reason I don't like this strategy as much is because they hold all the cards. They're going to tell me when I have to take that money out in terms of required distributions, and they're going to tell me what the tax rate is that I have to pay on that money. So if I wanted to be as efficient as I can be, I'm going to look to the next bucket, which is our favorite bucket, the tax-free bucket. How do I get my money in a tax-free bucket? We need to pay tax on the front end, so therefore we don't pay tax on the back end. And a Roth IRA is the best example of this. Again, I'm talking about the tax qualification of the money, not necessarily what it's invested in. A Roth IRA can be invested in cash, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities. You can invest it in anything, but the Roth tax efficiency is coming from the fact that I've already paid tax on that money, and so as it grows, I don't have to pay tax again. And not only that, not only do I not have to pay tax on that money, when the money transitions to my family, they don't have to pay taxes either. So think about this in terms of efficiency. You've got the taxable bucket, the tax deferred bucket, and then the tax-free bucket. If you're going to leave money to your family, leave it in the taxable bucket so they get a step-up basis, or leave the tax-free bucket so that they're not worried about paying tax on that money. Both of those are great opportunities for your estate plan. Again, tax efficiency is a big topic. We want to make sure that you are as efficient as you can be with your money.